inesha y'amakuru gaheri y'ihanga kudesonda nesonda zona.
As long as I'm president of the United States, Iran will never be allowed to have a nuclear weapon.
Apparently, leading the East African community has become more difficult. Fewer countries, but more difficult than leading the whole continent. Currently, we have some difficulties along our border, but we have had hundreds of Rwandans arrested in Uganda, and we have raised this matter with Ugandan authorities.
One of the mistakes which some political analysts make is to think that their enemies should be our enemies. That we can and we will never do. We have our own struggles which we are conducting. We are grateful to the world for supporting our struggle. But nevertheless, we are an independent organization with its own policy. Our attitude towards any country is determined by the attitude of that country to our struggle.
Our politics may be under strain, but there is so much that is good about this country, so much to be proud of. The second female Prime Minister, but certainly not the last. I do so with no ill will, but with enormous and enduring gratitude to have had the opportunity to serve the country I love.
You have lost control of the country because you have lost control of your own family. Your own son continues to say these people must be killed. You stand up here and you do not say anything. How can you rule the country when you cannot rule over your own family? And your son is such a typical example of a family member that you cannot whip into life.
We live in a continent today. Our young women, upon attaining puberty, cannot afford sanitary pads. But our public servants have iPads which they do not know how to use.
Arisana na mshanshka tonyeze mnana Kazo fama
omshomesa.
Over 100 Ugandans are trapped up in Ukraine. Reading a statement from Foreign Affairs, they said that the number is much more, bearing in mind that there are those who do not register with the government.
This morning was a very tragic one for us. 2 cruise missiles hit Kharkiv, the city which is located to the borders of the Russian Federation. There were always many Russians there, and they're always friendly. There were warm relations there. More than 20 universities are there.
Dakika ni nahe zaraba umushaha ya mnana musibire mutabanya Uganda batereho radio yanyu cyenda na mushanju katonyeze mnana cyangwa ho mtown kanso ya Kazo FM umushomesa wabanotemba ha district omukono gwawe ogwabumusho hakizimbe icyakan house aho no turukushangwa abatereho radio zanyu okuiha omukasheshe okufya eshaheji mbicweka bihanga bitarumwe na bumwe habari mbicweka byo muri western habari mu central Uganda aho rodi erukika za district zona ogwetorura Uganda Uganda ni za district nyingi habari aheru ya Uganda abari kutwatara ha website yite ya www.kazofm.com mwebare munonga kukunda Kazo FM tuza kugenda mpora mpaka hashaha ya mwenda nabanyita tinyifuza na bosi tuza kugenda kimwe mpaka hashaha ya mwenda hamwe kitakutandikiraho mu Uganda reka tutandikira aha President wihanga area Uganda Hembo Gwenshura Yoweri Kaguta Museveni arigireyo yayeta abebembezi abihanga area South Sudan abebembezi aba South Sudan abarmu presidenti Salva Kiir abarmu Riek Machar vice presidenti hamwe n'abandi bana abar kutekateka ngo nabamana kandi bine ubushobozi mbe kwaterine na nebyo bwebembezi umuntu mwihanga irya Sudan. Presidenti Yoweri Kaguta Museveni na nangu obutekereza no butaha hagati y'abebembeza aba urumusti abarukiza yo okukenjana no butekereza naki nibashikanka mukaga. President Salva Kiir, Dr. Riek Machar hamwe n'abandi ba vice presidents bari kushikanka bana. Aba bakija bataho omukono handagano mwaka gw'2018 kunka endagano yabo yuhurikize batahabine obutekerezana hino babya nibishanke byanda kuterera hacwaho obwire buke bagarika bagira obutekerezana. So president wa Uganda Yoweri Kaguta Museveni ihanga eri ya South Sudan turina haka kwate kangu yuhurikize iwabanunda kumanya ebyafayo ebihanga eri ya South Sudan tugine haka kwate kangu okuza kutunga okwetegeka ihanga eri ya South Sudan anumbiro bya John Garanga politics zabirezerho mu ihanga eri ya Sudani. Uganda ekaprenga pate mpango ihanga eri ya South Sudan kutunga okwetegeka hina nabahekera abariyono barwanisa government South Sudan ekiriyemwe bakirigira har government ya Sudan ya Khartoum bakozere government yaba bantu bakira bamwe abebembezi nebakigarura bajurumwe bona bababuza habi ya Uganda bagugira ngo Uganda ni yaba yambere munonga okutunga kwetegeka. So president wa Uganda ayitiraba ngo bije baganire akinze kikwatere nendagana ibatereho umukono umwaka gw'2018 kandi yabiregenderere kuretaho obusingi muri South Sudan ina hatakiriyo embundi abanyabutegetsi cyabakine obutekerezana reka tuzo mwihanga iri ya Burkina Faso ihanga iri ya Burkina Faso bivuga ngo barigire kuhamba ihangere omunyamahe Lieutenant Colonel Paulo Henry Sandogo Daniba ushijugwa kije hamba government na n'abasirikare beyaho president Roch Mark Christian Kabore bamuhahono bamutora ebyukore mu kurwanisa bazahambye bari kutekateka ngo bateganise ihanga ryabo iri ya Burkina Faso. So abanyamahe aba bakisha bagambira akabere kateiruho akachiko bakagenda baronda akachiko mu ihanga iri ya Burkina Faso bataho abakugu akachiko aka technical committee kandi benda ngo baronde umuringo oguba kubasa kuhindura obwebembezi abanyamahe abo bahambire kuruga omikono ya President Roch Mark Christian Kabore kandi wabire atererwa karuru abantu baburijo. Mark Christian Kabore ogunu president waberetererwe akaruru omwihanga eri ya Burkina Faso abasirikare bisha bamuhamba kagugwa ECOWAS African Union amahanga g'abajungu make bisha babajumira kunka Lieutenant Colonel Paulo Henry Sandogo Damiba na bagenzi be bagumye mbahamba government akachiko akakubabere batereho technical committee akabere nkenda kateho ebiro ebyaba barayebe ebire baraheze ombwebembezi abo kubana bajyangu benda kutereza ihanga batereze security bateho omusinge omukwatere nebyo kwerinda mu kurwanisa abazahambye. So bakana bagira ngo nibija kwezaho ebiro bike nibija kwezaho amezi make ombikwatere nebyo bwebembezi ubwebembezi babukwate babuhereza abantu baburijo akachiko aka technical committee kakaba kasagestingira ngo ababehezeho ekiri hansi ya mezi 30 at least amezi gabe gari hansi ya 30 obwebembezo obu amahyaga gabukwatsa abantu baburijo. So bakaba bagizire ngo okay muturunzire abamwe babiri bari abaroyazi hakakiko bakataho abanyabiragiro bataho ba veteran politicians ababiri bari ombyo bitegeki bataho abanyamakuru babiri bakozere mu bitongoro by'amano mwihanga iri ya Burkina Faso na heru ya Burkina Faso baronda abasirikare bahumwire barakumanya ibyo kwerinda baronda abantu baburisho ababiri bene influence mwihanga iri ya Burkina Faso hamwe n'abandi so akakika ka technical committee ko kabasuggestingira kabagira ngo muhezeho ebiro bice ebiri ahansi ya mezi 30 rero muronde obwebembezi mu bugarire abantu baburisho baronde umwebembezi ubu barkwenda bitubo abanyamahaba barigereyo barangira ngo bazafitegeka imyaka iri kurenga 3 ibaha basayiningire icyandike cy'urukwereka ngo bazafitegeka imyaka 3 ukande imyaka y'ijyo 3 kwer kuza kwaho ino baza kureba yabihanga arterire ihanga ri arterire ubuntu beje kurwatsa abantu baburisho konkari yabarataka terire ihanga tabari kwisha kurihereza yo imikono y'abantu baburisho ke babiri bagamba so akakiko aka technical committee akubabere baronzere kuko kabanike nangu at least amezi gaze ahansi ya mezi 30 ababo bashaziremu aronda amezi 36 so nibinda ngo bategeke ihanga korora buri fiterera bareba ngo hakirimo ebine barkwenda kutereza obwebembezi bari kwisha kubayo umbantu baburisho okurigera ha statement y'ibashorize nabakoresa television eyihanga iri ya Burkina Faso twazo mwihanga iri ya Nigeria president wihanga iri ya Nigeria president Muhammadu Buhari nawe amagaraje gataha gatarike omushijogu bamugizira ngo abanze aze umwirwaro umwihanga iri ya Bungereza aze kutunga ubushanshabi kandi arigireyo yashaba live eyesabiti ibiri okusa umwihanga iri ya Bungereza kuza kutunga ubushanshabi kwihabatora na president ogu kwihaba mutorana kwihaba president kwiho mwaka gwe2015 amagaraje gataha gatarike Muhammad Buhari imyaka nawe yagenda riyo myaka 59 kunka amagaraje gataha gatarike abantu mwihanga iri ya Nigeria bariyo bajumira health system hamwe na no guhereza ubwe byamagaro mundu mwihanga iri ya Nigeria president kwakuza umwihanga iri ya Bungereza na no muganda mahanga government shisha sente zomhi womushoro nyingi kandi zibakuberene bata omarwaro agihanga iri ya Nigeria abantu baburijo no bagira ngo habwenki mutarukombeka amarwaro mwihanga iri ya Nigeria na president agaruko basa kuragururiza mahabwenki ni mumutwara umwihanga iri ya Bungereza umurembo rwaranda na habwenki mutaruko muraguriza kuno marwaro aga kuno mwana mumanyangwa marwaro no marundi umwihanga iri ya Nigeria abantu baburijo namazima president arwire abantu baburisho no bagira ngo ikintu kije kustehe cyo gumana mbatwara umwihanga iri ya Bungereza government official wena wabakubi mutwara umwihanga iri ya Bungereza nari umugande mahanga agabajungu kandi aho umwihanga iri ya Nigeria ntobasa kuombeka amarwaro agarukurebera abantu abo sabantu baburisho bagira ngo ababiri bagamba ho na television no mwihanga iri ya Nigeria bagizire ngo muri Nigeria harimo abashaho bengi abamwe tukarebaho abashaho abari kurengo mu mitware na 2020 futaho akesharingo nibesharingira uhereza bubi na munongo mbyeshashura mu government ya Nigeria tero kufayo munonga habikwatere n'abashaho ngo bamwe abashaho abihanga iri ya Nigeria nabatemba inyunyi baza aheri yihanga habwenki mutarukushashura abashaho abo kandi habwenki mutarukutamu sente umbikwaterine nebyamagara ebihanga iri ya Nigeria n'ikintu kiri kushazana president kugumana umutwaro umwihanga iri ya Bungereza kandi president ayino bushobozi bwo kuragira bakombeka irwaro iri ya mano mundu umwihanga iri ya Nigeria bakatamu byona ibiri kwetengeza shikangu Muhammad Buhari abera rigire umwihanga iri ya Nigeria gireho umwihanga iri ya Kenya okuza mu rukiko rw'ikigombe cy'amahanga gaterine ruine akakwate n'ebya environment narishi ebyobuhangwa bwensi Muhammad Buhari abaira n'izindi ngende zabere nanda kuzamu kunka magara gagumere nigamuteganisa gukora gakashaba leave ya weeks 2 wabanze azo umihanga eri abungereza base kumujanja amahanga minjaho mu Afrika aho abantu baburijo barkwetombetire ikintu cy'ikwaterine n'abakuru mu government ogumana bashora heri ihanga kuza kuraguriza aheru kandi gamwe mu mahanga gaine sente z'uko basa kombeka amarwaro agabantu aba kuragurwa mu mahanga gabo kujya muri cya Nigeria yonka no mugande mahanga yakutwara ngaho mu East Africa yabebembesi abengi nibakira kuza umihanga iri ya Nairobi muri Kenya rather Kenya mu rembo rwa Nairobi kuza futunga ubushanjabi hino hurango batembe nyinyi baza umurembo rwa Nairobi kuza futunga ubushanjabi oro mustamahanga mengi agari umuri East Africa so Kenya nigamu mahanga aguturi kuteka ngwaho mu Africa ubundi herese system yabo ninungi deina marwaro marungi aho abebembesi okuruga aheru ya Kenya aho muri East Africa hibar kuza kuragurisa nagande mahanga bamwe bazaza South Africa kunka abinjaho mu East Africa twaza kureba ka East Africa abebembesi abinjina n'abashuza bamana bariko babineho akasente yabatagire India yabatagire za Belgium yabatagire bungereza ninga America wiro wingi abamwe first aid nibabanza bagitungira umihanga eri ya Kenya kunka ko kuza kwetegereza amahanga agamenje mu Africa nibabasa kuombeka marwaro mahanga gabo at least nango no buri yakuba irwaro rumwe eriro ko basa kushanja ba abutu akwitanga ba executives narishi abantu abamani turi kubasa kungira ngo ihanga Uganda tuburo sente zo kuombeka irwaro ry'amani herukika aha level y'amarwaro agari umihanga iri ya Kenya ninga ha level y'amarwaro agari aheri ihanga nango no buri yakubirwaro rumwe ry'amani Tanzania nayo nukoko Rwanda nayo nukoko agana mahanga gari yaho mu East Africa tukabiri ncharungu at least bombeke hirwaro rumwe ry'amani iri a level yo Nairobi hariyoki ninga reka tuse aheri ihanga reka tuse Europe reka tuse Europe cyo tunachikomya dakika na 20 ezaraba umushaha ya munana nza kutwara kimwe paka hashaha ya mwenda nabanyitati nyifuza na bosi okiri ahari cyenda na mushanju katonyeze munana Kazo fama radio mushomesa nshangwa humtawun kanso ya Kazo omihanga orutaro ri hagati yihanga eri ya Russia hamwe na nihanga eri ya Ukraine isiyona nheteire amesho aho rukurbata hona nicyo kigambo abante mitima nteri amatun hogari ahubwo bano bamanya ngo orutaruru babatarahandoringire umuringo ogurgo narishi babatartwarise umuringo ogurgo orutaruru ndubasa kwisha kurugamo orutaruru wensi yona urwakashatu ahita uri kugambire ibi abasirikare abihanga iriya Russia enyonyi ezihanga iriya Russia abagira ngo bahirize kwegaruriza icyange cy'amashuma ekihanga iriya Ukraine ihanga iriya Ukraine ashi turi kugambire ibi orembo rwa Kherson orembo nubagira ngo amahe agihanga iriya Russia gahirize kuriyegaruriza kandi orembo naro ruberere hihi na orembo rwa Odessa uruberere mu omwaro muhango mbikwatere n'ibyo mishuburo aho ihanga iriya Ukraine bindikira kurabya ibyo mishuburo kandi orembo rwa Kherson amakora guturi kutunga orembo amahe agihanga iriya Russia bahirize kurwegaruriza orembo rwa Kharkiv rutaru ryundi genda omesho abantu baburijo bagira ngo hine abaherize kurga omagaragensi na government ombarotero gushoza ngo yago basa batugambiraho abantu 21 barigire omagaragensi isoba ryanyuma abazyo onkaruho abanda batakamanyire abantu bari kurenga nkiga ni 12 abo bo bari kugira ngo batungire obuta bw'amani abone byanga ibiri kushikwamu bamwe abasirikare na n'abanyamakuru abihanga iriya Ukraine icyamashuma agihanga iriya Ukraine aho nho ihanga iriya Russia ruberere tere focus munonga oyireho izindi ndembo rumuko rwa Odessa orembo urumuko rwa Kharkiv n'urembo tubere tujyango n'urembo urwa kabiri rukukiza y'ubuhango mu ihanga iriya Ukraine orembo ruberere rumu ebyo mushuburo bingi orembo ihanga iriya Ukraine abo kugira ngo ruhihi na nihanga iriya Russia bakarubombeka munonga even batamu nvorubere ndikiza yo na za universities bagira ngo za universities ziri kurenga 22 ziri omurembo rwa Kharkiv cyo kurebera abantu abarukurga aheri yihanga iriya Ukraine abengi babere bakwatirwe omurembo rwa Kharkiv abo kugira ngo harimo za universities nyingi aho abejo kurga omahanga gataragamwe na gamwe babere nibatungira obwegeze nyinyi za Russia zugumise muzatera emirongoti ya televisioni eyihanga iriya Ukraine televisioni yihanga iriya Ukraine hamwe na n'izindi za televisioni baziteyireho ebikompora emirongoti ya radio eyihanga iriya Ukraine nayo bagiteyire ebikompora emirongoti ahwireho eshaha ziri kushankabere neina batandikire gukoresa mobile narishi umuringo guru mobile omukwereza abantu obuhereza ombikwatere nebya radio wanyuma yihanga iriya Russia fitere cyombeke kiberekera mu television hamwe na radio eyihanga iriya Ukraine impungi ziriyo zigumiza mukusa omahanga gaherere ihanga iriya Ukraine bita bateze bembuno narishi ba separatists bono bagira ngo nabazagomisa mu bahambere kimwe ebindi byanga naho Russia itakashikire abariyo barwana mu ihanga iriya Ukraine Russia kwatanise nabateze bembuno agura undi abingi bagira ngo nabateze bembundu narishi abarkwikireza omihanga iriya Russia begituruho na nabanda Russia biyatindikire yo kare Russia negira ngo ebyange byahereze kwata iriyo negamba nabameya bagira ngo bariyo baganira na meya urembo rwa Kherson ngo rembo runubenda ngo aganira na bebembese barikwenda kubiha umbwebembese bwabo kuro rumeya no zagumura meya kuro rubero rukarane no kuro mu office ya meya no zaguma uri karani wa meya ngo iki barikwenda no kwihaho interest ezamahanga aganato hamwe na nihanga iri Amerika ngo abebembezi abaruho na munongo murembo rwa Kherson bahereze kwegaruza kubiragume biti ahubwo kubana bagira ngo haro strong resistance narishi abasirikara bihanga iri Ukraine bateriho amani menji abantu baburisho bashazire mbakwata embunda abantu bari kurengo mitwaro 20 mu ihanga iri Ukraine bahereze kwehandikisa kwegita umuritaru kandi ababere bari abantu baburisho kugira ngo babere bine training y'amani azironga zino bamanya futeri sasi aba bahandikire ngo baze omahi agihanga iriya Ukraine Russia eriyo ebyange byahirize kwata negenda eganira nabebembeze babiri nibebembera ibyange bo berero meya ajya ngo turikwenda kubiha umbwebembezi kunka mureke kurwana sabasirikare abihanga iriya Russia bahirize kwikaha mugume numukora emirimo yanyu kaburijo mugume umuza offices zanyu statement okuruga omwihanga erya Russia.
Russia has widened the scope of its war on Ukraine. A suspected cruise missile hit the local administration building in Freedom Square, no less, in the center of the eastern city of Kharkiv. Homes regularly come under fire now too. This is an apartment building in the Black Sea port city of Kherson. And this, Kharkiv again. The Russian liberators have come, the man shouts, in the aftermath of Tuesday's missile strike. President Volodymyr Zelensky, addressing the European Union, called it the price of freedom.
This morning, 2 cruise missiles hit this Freedom Square. Dozens of killed ones. This is the price of freedom.
The translator struggles to contain his emotion.
We are fighting just for our land and for our freedom.
70 Ukrainian soldiers died when a military base was targeted by heavy artillery in Akhtirka. But the veil has fallen from Russia's claims that it's carrying out a special operation aimed purely at military targets. Civilians are increasingly fair game. And as night fell, Kharkiv came under heavy attack again. The change of tactics, a possible consequence of Russia's slow-moving advance on the ground. Satellite imagery shows a column of artillery and armor.
This is the onslaught Ukrainians are facing tonight. A tank firing into a building in a town north of Kyiv. Not far away, a Russian missile slamming into Kyiv's main TV and radio tower, captured in these images posted on social media. The strike reportedly hitting the site of the Babi Yar Holocaust Memorial, which honors the memory of 33,000 Jews slaughtered by the Nazis 80 years ago. Ukrainian President Zelensky asking the world, what is the point of saying never again when bombs fall on Babi Yar? In the southern city of Kherson, a residential apartment building bombed in this video circulating on social media. And in eastern Ukraine, a cruise missile strike on a government building in the country's second largest city, Kharkiv. At least 6 people killed there. We talked with the governor today, who said the Russians are now deliberately targeting civilians. In the central square of our city, there are no military objects, he says. Among the dead, there are no military, only civilians. And increasingly, it is civilians who are coming under fire. More than 350 people have been killed, according to Ukrainian officials. 1,600 have been injured in less than a week. And this is why. This image circulating online shows what appears to be a Russian missile landing in an apartment kitchen on the outskirts of Kharkiv. The attacks come a day after the shelling of a residential neighborhood in the city. Experts believe the Russians may have used cluster bombs, which rain smaller deadly bomblets over a wide area. International authorities now opening a war crimes investigation into Russia's tactics. A senior US official telling ABC News the fear now is that, quote, the Russians will crush Ukraine in order to win. But there are increasing reports that Russian soldiers are suffering poor morale and shortages of food and fuel. Today, we met Petro Poroshenko, the former president of Ukraine, who's rallying fighters and civilians.
Please, don't trust Putin. Never in your life. Don't trust Putin. Putin expected that within a very short period of time, within 2 days, he will rise up the Russian flag on the Ukrainian capital. This has not happened.
Dakika 30 zaraba umushaha ya munani w'uhurikize ihanga area Russia igenzere yari kura enyonyi za Sukhoi Su-57 enyonyezi bagira ngo ziretsire damage mpango mu ihanga area Ukraine abantu abari kureba iyo butegeki bagira ngo enyonyezi nizija ihanga area Ukraine orutarahiraze kweramo ibintu bingi nibisha kuba byasisikaye. President Vladimir Putin hajangu namazima bateriho emihinga hihanga area Russia omurukwatere n'ebintu shubro konke bukwatere na Nortaro nibisha kugumisa mu Ortaro President Vladimir Putin arigire yarabura ihanga iri Bufaransa barekeraho gumana bashoza statement zona izabisha umutwe na nizabisha umukanwa habkwaterine na Nortarur nicyo kimwe na Dmitry Medvedev ukunakira kuregana munonga na President Vladimir Putin. Dmitry we arigireyo yagira ngo begendesereze kandi nawe arigire yarabura ihanga iri Bufaransa. Bufaransa na Bungereza nagamahanga gakereza yo kugamba munongana no kukizana n'ihanga iri Amerika. Medvedev we nagira ngo begendesereze munonga statement ezabarukishoza nawe agayitire habigambo ebigambirwe President Vladimir Putin agira ngo ihanga iri Bufaransa bareke kushoza buri kigambo cyona icyabisha umutwe na n'ihanga iri Bungereza. Yo government ya Ukraine nigira ngo ahiyashya abasirikare abihanga iri Russia tabi however much bigambwe Russia ne bakanisa munonga nabagira ngo abasirikare ba Russia barkwika umuntu 15 statement rukuruga umur government ya Ukraine bagira ngo abasirikare ababe bari abasirikare abihanga iri Russia kandi ngo Ukraine bitire abasirikare barkwika 15 ashishana n'ibimotoka byabo ebirwane birukika 30 za helicopters esibere zigezeho ofutera za bomu zimwe ahandembo omihanga iri ya Ukraine 31 nazo baziteire gusa tanka zurukika 211 nazo baziteire ebimotoka ebirwane birukika 8 nkaga na 2 nabyo babiteire ebimotoka ebirine bitwara amashita birukika nkaga nabyo ngo babiteire emeri zitari zimwe na zimwe nazo ngo baziteire. Izi statement eri kurugwa mu ihanga iri ya Ukraine okuyaho ekiri omurutaro iwuhurikize bimwe abazi kugizireho nti ebitongore ebyamakuru tubiri kubaransinga urutaro nicyo turi kwisha kurebera abantu bingi nabafa abo kugira ngo western media narishi ebitongore ebyamakuru ebyaheru iya Russia ebiri aheru ebyamahanga gabajungo muri Amerika Bungereza Bufaransa na nahandi okuyaho ihanga iri ya Spain niye kine ebitongore byamakuru ebikiri kubaransinga kunka ihanga iri ya Russia emikure yabo bacwireho na munonga harugugo habaru kuza Google kuza kusacinga manyugu no mukura gwihanga iri ya Russia ebyo babishaziriho. So western media niyo nehereza amakuru hariho fitina nguwa banyuma yo kusharaho television eyihanga iri ya Russia ahamukura ogwa Google na nebindi ebitongore birikwereza amakuru mu Russia ne basa kuyisha kwakinga bumwe habitongore by'amakuru okwetorora insiyona abakumanye by'amakuru bagira ngo Russia ne basa kuyisha kukoresa umugishogo bagidina ingire chance eyo kunayo okutunga binte bikwatere n'ebyamakuru narishi okuhereza information mbikwatere n'orutaro emwe ahamhinga ibatere ahari President Vladimir Putin ebitongore by'amakuru babaningire tabarko basa kukoresa emikura ya Google nabo kuhereza amakuru nabagahereza nigakoma mu ihanga iri ya Russia hamwe n'amahanga getorere ihanga iri ya Russia. So amahe aga Russia tigine moraro mpango umurutaro urwa Ukraine. President wihanga iri Amerika arigireyo yahereza statement ye omihanga iri Amerika mesho gabanyishengero omisho gabantu bihanga iri Amerika arigireyo yajumirira President Vladimir Putin ogundu murundi. President wihanga iri Amerika Joe Biden arigireyo yagambira Putin ngo Putin abere natekateka ngo neisha shakinga narishi fitengetsa emisinge eyihanga iri ya Ukraine ngo icyo kivuki kimbeira habere atari kumenya ngo ibintu nibisha kumwihindukana. Joe Biden agizire ngo President Putin ni dictator uri omucyasheki otakarewaga ngo kandi dictator nkogo babere bashemere kumbonereza wahabuko baba batambonereze neisha kuteganisa agande mahanga. Biden agumize muyagira ngo President Zelensky owihanga area Ukraine no bahati oriyo na yishirika ikunkana heriza video na heriza address inarga yagamba ni hanga shoza katambi arigire yaje yagambira President Zelensky ngo Zelensky arigire yahereza moraro yahereza umuhimbo ensiyona umbikwaterene na norutaro urwihanga area Russia hamwe na Ukraine ubinje abantu bamanya ngo Russia neza ko umushahanje nisha kuba yatere ihanga area Ukraine kunka cyo two kibire ahabo kuba Zelensky agumire umurutaro mwihanga area Ukraine na Rwana kandi yagumana n'abasirikare be ihanga area America President Biden agumise mu yagira ngo President Vladimir Putin aberena yetanguwe tari kukwatoho mupunka sanctions ezuba mutereho bakwatanise n'aganda mahanga Putin dishemeye kuba ishomo kandi Putin ngo ayigendesereze hariyo ekindi ekiriyo nikisha tuturi kumanya yaba nibenda kumutahirira n'imbunda Biden agira ngo bakatandikaho umukago ogwa NATO okurwanisa ba dictator nkaba Vladimir Putin okurwanisa amana gubabere baretire umunsi na no kwenda kujunuka ensi Amerika hamwe n'aganda mahanga 29 wagayita hamwe amahanga 30 umukago ogwa NATO wicyabateiseho umukago ogwa NATO no kurwanisa bangambanye nkankaba ba President Vladimir Putin ngo Amerika eherize amezi kwihabarangira kwiharasha yenda futahira ihanga area Ukraine ngo Amerika tahane gamba n'abagenzi babo banywani ba Amerika okureba ko bakubasa kurwanisa ihanga area Russia no kurwanisa President Vladimir Putin kandi bamwe omuru banywani ba Amerika bakargayo bicereza kandi ngo hariho enkwatanisa y'amani gusa sanctions ezuruho tuzurukumara nibaza kongerera kimwe ahari sanctions ezuruho President Vladimir Putin yoba hati muteyine butoro ngo habo kuba NCM wangire bakurikira President Biden itimu Russia mutanyanga timu Russia mutanyanga ino bugano muntu ko heru hakunka Russia kandi aho kaba bikangorite bigambo bya Biden nibasha kujya mu byanje.
6 days ago, Russia's Vladimir Putin sought to shake the very foundations of the free world, thinking he could make it bend to his menacing ways. But he badly miscalculated. He thought he could roll into Ukraine and the world would roll over. Instead, he met with a wall of strength he never anticipated or imagined. He met the Ukrainian people. President Zelensky, to every Ukrainian, their fearlessness, their courage, their determination literally inspires the world. Groups of citizens blocking tanks with their bodies, everyone from students to retirees to teachers, turned soldiers defending their homeland. And in this struggle, President Zelensky said in his speech to the European Parliament, "Light will win over darkness." The Ukrainian ambassador to the United States is here tonight, sitting with the First Lady. Let each of us, if you're able to stand and send an unmistakable signal to the world of Ukraine. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. She's bright, she's strong, she's resolved. Yes, we, the United States of America, stand with the Ukrainian people. Throughout our history, we've learned this lesson. When dictators do not pay a price for their aggression, they cause more chaos. They keep moving, and the cost, the threats to America and America to the world keeps rising. That's why the NATO alliance was created, to secure peace and stability in Europe after World War II. The United States is a member, along with 29 other nations. It matters. American diplomacy matters. American resolve matters. Putin's latest attack on Ukraine was premeditated and totally unprovoked. He rejected repeated efforts at diplomacy. He thought the West and NATO wouldn't respond. He thought he could divide us at home, in this chamber, in this nation. He thought he could divide us in Europe as well. But Putin was wrong. We are ready. We are united, and that's what we did. We stayed united. We prepared extensively and carefully. We spent months building coalitions of other freedom-loving nations in Europe and from America to the Asian and African continents to confront Putin. Like many of you, I spent countless hours unifying our European allies.
President Zelensky owihanga area Ukraine arjiri yagambaho na parlamenti ey'omukago ogwa Buraya bamba beratine bugambo abere nagira ngu tindi kumanya nokunda baramutse tindi kumanya no kuramutse habo kuba kuburukushesha ushotuntu burukushesha kuburukwira ushotuntu burukwira iyo umuntu nasima izoba iriyarenga. Zelensky argireyo yasima amahanga agaburaya kurgayo gakamureka support kandi yargaye abasha abatakorekire side barije yoboreke side ahibari bombi kwatere nortaro. President Zelensky agizire ngu abantu baburijo beshumbire umurtaro kandi batereho strong resistance okurwana samahege ihanga area Russia kandi Russia nayo nekimanya ngo kibari no babakora umuntu mu ihanga area Ukraine. President Zelensky agizire ngo bariyo no barwanisiza kimwe ihanga area Russia kandi ngo Russia teri kwija kusingura urutaroru ngo habo kuba urutaro abarwe kwatiremu n'abantu baburijo.
Thank you very much, dear President in the media, in this session hall. You know, over the last couple of days, I don't know how to welcome and greet everybody because I cannot say good morning or can say good afternoon or good evening. And I cannot, and that's true, because every day, for some people, this day is not good. For some people, this day is the last one. I speak today now about my citizens of Ukraine who are defending. This morning was a very tragic one for us. 2 cruise missiles hit Kharkiv, the city which is located to the borders of the Russian Federation. There were always many Russians there, and they're always friendly. There were warm relations there. More than 20 universities are there. It's the city that has the largest number of
dakika 43 izaraba umushaha ya munana zakutwara kimwe mpaka hashaha ya mwenda abanyitati nyifuza na boss reka nkuretere aba Mahoro Solutions Uganda Limited aba naba engineers abana ba planners abarukutera za plans abana ba technicians abana ba contractors abana ba surveyor abana abantu bamani aba Mahoro Solutions Uganda Limited abana bakorera inose kuba uriyo ukuyimoya bari kuturikiza website ya www.kazofm.com ihimo batirho radio zanyu asa kubutwire ryuko nurunda itaka ryo kugura ryo umurtoke ritari umurtoke ryo kurisiza mwente manyano yenda icyapa manyano yenda ki aba Mahoro Solutions Uganda Limited nibo bine solution nibo bari kubasa gukorera aha bintu ebi aba nibo kugira ngo nabakutungira itaka ryo kuhingamu kutandikira aharundundemwe okusya aharihika ezorukwenda abateine urutoke abarukwenda narshi abarukwenda kuhinga urutoke omataka agubar kukuguza ninga hona urukwenda itaka aba Mahoro Solutions Uganda Limited nibajya ngo babasa kutungira itaka erine urwezo kandi aho kubasa kuhinga urutoke ushanga ubwiro bw'inje abantu bine amataka ushanga itaka rango konkata ataina har kubasa kuhinga urutoke abantu bakugira ngo nabakutungira itaka okurga aharihikemwe nano kugumizamo omensho kandi amataka gabo ntaba harimo nano ho kuhinga urutoke abakugira ngo aba ririmo abarkwenda za farms azukurisamo nubu kushanga kariko kaza kugura itaka kukashanga iriye paramata abantu bakugira ngo bakwinire itaka narishi amataka ombicweke bintu kuza kugambira aho kubasana no kurisiza kahushanga ubunyatsi butari kubasa kurgaho hatariho paramata abantu bakugira ngo bakwinire amataka kurga hika itano okuza ahiguraho kubasa kurisiza ente zawe no kuza umuriza square miles ndamaheraho kurisiza ente zawe aba ba Mahoro Solutions Uganda Limited nibafutungira itakeri abantu bakugira ngo nibashangwa mu Kazo ya Kazo kunkana bafutungira amatakago ombicweka bihanga bitari bumwe na bumwe muri za districts abanunda itaka ntungamo nushanga umuntu akarwo ko mu ntungamo haza ibire biyarigireyo namanyangu hakaba hari amataka marungi garumu urwezo so babanunda kugaruka umuntu ntungamo abantu bakugira ngo nibabasa kutungira itaka mu district ya ntungamo utwire nunda kurunda itaka mu district yisingiro abantu bakutungira itaka muri singiro ninga nunda kurunda itaka mu mbarra ibire mbarra bakagereza site inunda ngo hike hihi na site abantu baza kutungira itaka mu mbarra asa kutungira itaka mu district ya Kazo district ya Kirhura inunda kuzo mu first family nibafutungira itaka mu Kazo na Kirhura ninga nunda kutunga itaka umuri banda ninga shikamwenji kuri wa honorable Frank tumwibaze uko nayo bafutungira itaka oboza cegegwa oba uza semba bure oba uza igomba narishi bururi ninga nunda kuzaburemeza abantu bafutungira amataka hago kubasa kurisiza mu ente zawe kwiharika itano kugumiza mu aheguru aba tujya ngo nubakwereza amataka gonka nombe kwaterena no kurondera icyapa amataka gabo agamwe gaine cyapa hina wanunda irtine cyapa nariyo nubakfutungira ne barukutungira konganyuka kwa advisingire hingo bagambira bakwereza itaka erine icyapa abantu bakugira ngo bakwereza amataka agabo gona gaine ebyapa hewo utakwendera irtine cyapa nariyo nubarukurondera aba tujya ngo ibi amataka nibo bakoraho byonka nabakwereza na za proti obanunda proti umbyange bina kugambira mu za district zinakugambiraho obanunda proti aho mutawon Kanso ya Kazo obanunda proti muri Kirhura abantu bakuguza na za proti abantu bakuyambaho na mabari kwenda plan zamaju ibi hati byo kwimukukumbe kenzu kashanga itara plan abantu bakuyamba bafutungira plan eyenju yawe bakukorera plani okurukuza kumbeka ninga shima bari kwenda kusarashinga na kutereza imbuga zanyu na za compound ukagira compound eyekitinisa aba Mahoro Solutions Uganda Limited za compound ezo no bazikoraho munonga narishi za spray race bine ba engineers na kujyanta aba bine ba engineers bakorera za spray race abantu bagumiza mutujya ngo nebe byonka nabakuyambaho no kufitimbira za dams narishi bakuyambaho okutereza za dams damu shanga ekazamu ekinyati narishi damu ikatunga ubusubu hino babasa kusa umudamu ejo bageye bagitereze damu yawe egaricyo abagusa amaju bagura amaju umurembo rwambarra muri Kirhura na nahandi za protsi ezo binire kimwe ombwingi abuje tarukwereze namba zaba Mahoro Solutions Uganda Limited aba Mahoro Solutions Uganda Limited nabashangwa mu town Kanso ya Kazo bashanje hashungine n'umuzigiti gwa Kazo omumajuga hape cyabihende wahingura aha fantasia motel abuje tarukwereze namba za director hino wase kutera abantu bakugira ngo areka nkwereze namba za director nsaba ire munyandekwe hari namba z'isumwezi 0 nkaga na 8 21 nkaga na 2 mushanju hamwe na 0 mushanju 5 nkaga nemwe igana 24 reka nkuyame kugarikire mu kasumu 0 mushanju nkaga na 8 21 rukaga 2 na mushanju hamwe na 0 mushanju 5 10 mukaga 11 24 baba ba Mahoro Solutions Uganda Limited.
Ago, Russia's Vladimir Putin sought to shake the very foundations of the free world, thinking he could make it bend to his menacing ways. But he badly missed.
Iwo kurikizo mbigambo ya President Biden agire ngo batwire bakora coalition narshi batwire bagambaho naganda mahanga okukwatanisa umnamunongo mbikwaterina no kurwanisa ihanga iri ya Russia kandi yarga yagamba na continent ya Africa namhanga machaha mu Africa garigire yukureka support ihanga iri ya Ukraine akutwara amahanga amenje mu Africa gamwe tigashemerere ombikwaterena no muringo go batwarize mu abantu ba Africa babere bari omurubura yuko na munongo muhanga iri ya Ukraine abantu ba Africa twarebaho ambassador wihanga iri ya South Africa oberari omuhanga iri ya Ukraine arigire yaje tekinde biro kunyowetinka kirebaga ambassador anda Gronwald agizira ati ekinde biro muhanga iri ya Ukraine nyowetinka kirebaga okwahura abantu omurangi okushorora abantu omurangi kirengeserizo muhanga eri ya Ukraine wabo kuba abantu bingi bari stranded omuhanga eri ya Ukraine na munongo murembo rwa Kharkiv na murembo rwa Kiev hamwe na n'izindi ndembe zirimu abantu abari kwiragura abo kugira ngo ihanga eri ya Ukraine harimu okutanishamu abantu ombikwatere rangi kuno mujungu ogu no mwiraguru amahanga mengi garigire gashumirira governments z'abajungu hamwe na no muringo ogu ebitongore ebyamakuru birukuherezamu amakuru omurtaroro twarebaho ekigombe ibintu byombe ni kugambiraho izoberi yanyuma abazi hargayo omukago gurukugita hamwe abanyamakuru aho mu Africa barigire bajumirira ebitongore by'amakuru aheru iya Buraya na no mu Buraya abariyo bahereza amakuru agarukugwera urubaju rumwe kandi agatari kugamba nahabikwaterene na racism narishi okufutanishamu abantu mbikwaterene nerangi ekigombe cya Press Association Africa kirigire cyajumirira ebitongore ebyamakuru ebyamahanga g'abajungu abana oreba umuringo gw'amakuru gariyo gakorwa mu omuhanga eri ya Ukraine ni abanyamakuru abana bije kwitsa abantu bingi omuhanga eri ya Ukraine abo kuba murumo gubaguteremo propaganda naboreka ngo ibintu birije aha ground nashi abaserikara ba Ukraine barino bataking over boreka side yonke y'abantu baburisha aho barino bafakanda baterwa abaserikare bihanga iri ya Russia boreka ground zonka ezi Ukraine ryo negezeho kukwata banga koreka ebicweke bi Russia eriyo nekwata hamwe na racism eriyo okwahuramu abantu mbikwaterene nerangi ikintu kisha kuretera abantu bengi okuruga omumagara genza amahanga gataragamo na gamwe gariyo gagezeho kwihayo abantu babo akutorana naho mu Uganda turebire abanyishengero barimu omnyishengero owarwemiyaga Theodore Sekikubo owarwemiyaga County hamwe n'abandi banyishengero bariyo bashaba government ngwetaho entebe kanisa ezo kwiha abanya-Uganda bari omwihanga eri ya Ukraine abanya-Uganda bari omahanga mengi so ikizibu kiri abanya-Uganda enoshanga bamwe na government etari kubamanya bakazayo umuringo ogwabo konka ministry y'enshonga zaheru ntikiriza nuhina abanya-Uganda bari omwihanga eri ya Ukraine kandi bakwatirwe konka ikizibu kiri turukumanya yabo mbaro o government eyine ya Uganda nugo mbaro oguri omwihanga eri ya Ukraine abo kugira ngo hariho bamwe abanya-Uganda abarukuza omahanga bakaraba omahanda endijo bari abanya-Uganda kandi batari mu bitabo bya government ya Uganda nari kushanga ngo government ne bamanya ngo bari aheru ikintu cy'iremesa government okuronda aho rukushanga because even no kurgayo ukajoturi ndiyo Uganda atari birukoreka ngo ukarga umuri Uganda narishoka rabo umuhanda ugu no gunki basaguje kugumira kwakaro abanya-Uganda abariyo kumwihanga eri ya Ukraine abaturi kutekateka ngo bakwatirwe umuri Ukraine konka bamwe abanyishengero abari Theodore Sekikubo hamwe na bagenzi bene bena government teho entebe kanisa izo kwiha abanya-Uganda abakwatirwe umwihanga eri ya Ukraine.
This morning was a very tragic one for us.
Over 100 Ugandans are trapped up in Ukraine. Reading a statement from Foreign Affairs, they said that the number is much more, bearing in mind that there are those who do not register with the government but are living, studying and working in Ukraine. I was perturbed last night when I saw the government forces stopping Africans and other nationals from leaving Ukraine, preferring their nationals to be the ones to exit from that war-stricken country.
Government, especially through Minister of Foreign Affairs, briefs Parliament on the total number of Ugandans trapped
in Ukraine and Russia, and the measures being undertaken by government to ensure safety.
Amahanga ga Afrika amenye tugashemererwe na n'umuringo gwo barkwandoringamo abayiraguju abari muri Ukraine. Iwaba noreba ubutambi narishi abuko bana n'ibitongore ebyamahanga g'abajungu ebishane bitubara kubyoreka niza media zinke narishi n'ibitongore bike ebirukworeka umuringo gwo okuba kuzubiramo abayiraguju obutatemba za basi obutatemba egari zo mwika obutatemba engenda ezirukubazirho na munonga omarwando okwerinda okushesha eshagama okwabantu baburija batari mu rutaro kunka za media ez'abajungu ebintu ebituziri kubyoreka abanyamakuru barkwegitira mu kigombe cyabaho mu Afrika ebintu ebitubashemize tekanya kire y'amasomo 0 mana 0 Hello?
Wale kueleza tunasema na
kare seba
Francois Hagamugore sasa nda kuvuza mu yuko iyo kino mahemba seyiti ya Uganda.
Okay.
Kere eri mushobora Uganda paka bayamba ya Uganda yabeta bana bashaka kuyamba kuri hayo kandi ikindi rasa nanga ngakatera yuko cyo kubanza mbere abajungu baturi kwansa byabo shahezi mono tunasema na boss
yebare munanga. Hello?
Tumefunga na bosi.
Yesebo.
Baba doktoreza. Wagambona aberu mukasaka bugahe. Ati nikinani kubuza. Nanye ndo banzo ndebere Uganda ko Ukraine niyo bakinyana kinango Uganda tabasafite ko usoboze kiya abantu mu Uganda mazima platform.
Okay. Ningira ngo wanu hurje bigambo ya Theodore Sekikubo amazi ndikugarikire maybe nagira ngo hariho abanyarwanda bari kurengigana bariyo ngo ministry y'inshonga zahire nagira ngo nibabasa ko bana barengamo.
Over 100 Ugandans are trapped up in Ukraine. Reading a statement from Foreign Affairs, they said that the number is much more, bearing in mind that there are those who do not register with the government but are living, studying and working in Ukraine. I was perturbed last night when I saw the government forces stopping Africans and other nationals from leaving Ukraine, preferring their nationals to be the ones.
Hello.
Kazo tem.
Umshomesa.
Yore kwezi yanga na boss.
Kare sebo.
Yazo ni uzakurwa muri mu basenyo kandi masuta mu mbwinga. Inani za kuuza Russia. Kana bagira ngo yatanke no kuza amure kurwiyanga ya kwatore mbo kurwiyanga ya nanke yere ni rwana.
Okay. Namazima. Hello? Umshomesa.
Ubu numweta obedo ngo turwamu mwita kurgabu ya dampu mu ryantonde. Kandi umuhagizi wa President Museveni n'ikore.
Okay.
Kati arvikina nimbuza. Uganda kanusha icyo kugira ikitakingi kine. Wabusoka baserekira bakarabana harya mu Nambore. Nk'abantu kutayamba asista bashaka bahuvudamo na n'abantu bitaba bariyo bakareba uko bakubasa kurgaye.
Okay.
Azagaragumana mani.
Yabara munanga. Nondangu babaretere kuno yempungi batunge uturo